Welcome back. If this is your first time here on this channel and you experience any kind of issues with playback, please check out the link in the description to my mirrored account on BitChute.com, redpill_McKenzie. Now, in today's video, we're picking up where we left off. We're now in week 2 of January 2019 with the high-level resignations. Talking CEOs, CFOs, COOs, heads of state, police chiefs, you name it. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's a new week until we catch up. But real quick, where do I get the names from? I get them from a site called resignation.info, maintained by Resignation Anon. And despite the meme I just showed you, there are a lot of good people on this list. Not everyone on this list is a bad person. There's been quite a few of those, but even still, not everyone's going to be indicted. Go ahead and check out the link to the indictments if that's something you haven't seen already. There's also a feature on this website where you can report resignations. Anything not on the list since September 2017, if you find it, go ahead, put the link to that news article, submit it. Once it's been verified, it'll be added to the list. But get this, if it's new and it's notable, chances are you're going to see it on the next Resignation show. Every other Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. German time, with the next one being on April 28th, and it's hosted on a channel called In Real Life News. I'll put the link to their channel in the description, or if you're hanging out on the Resignation site, boom, in the Resignation show tab, you can link up with In Real Life News there and catch up with any of the episodes you may have missed along the way. But now that that's taken care of, let's get to the names. We have an envoy to the U.S. State Department in the U.S., Anthony Zinni. We have the CEO to HICOM Global Security Inc. in the U.S., Francis Machaud. We have the CEO to Metropolitan Life Insurance Company, also known as MetLife in the U.S., Stephen Kandarian. He retired and was replaced by Michael Kaloff. We have the VP to AutoZone Inc. in the U.S., Ray Pullman, retired. We have General Counsel to FB Financial Corp. in the U.S., Will Martin, retired. He also retired as General Counsel to First Bank in the U.S. We have the CEO to Marion Global Investors in the UK, Richard Buxton. We have the CEO to Sport and Recreation Alliance in the UK, Emma Bogus. We have the CTO to Software AG in Germany, Wolfram Jost. We have the CEO to Royale Energy Inc. in the US, Rod Essen. He resigned and was replaced by Johnny Jordan. We have the CEO to Atento SA in Luxembourg, Alejandro Reynal. We have the sheriff to Broward County Sheriff's Office in Florida, Scott Israel, suspended over the whole Parkland deal. We have the deputy to Faulkner County Police in Arkansas, Keenan Wallace. He was fired after the shooting a small dog for barking. We have the HR director to City of Augusta in Georgia, Gwendolyn Connor, fired. We have a director to Humane Society of El Paso in Texas, Luke Westerman. He was fired one day after turning himself in to the Ohio law enforcement authorities after being indicted on 19 counts alleging fraud. We have the CEO to Herbalife Nutrition Limited in the U.S., Richard Gudis, resigned and was replaced by Michael O. Johnson. We have the CEO to All Hands Raised in the U.S., Dan Ryan. We have the CEO and President to Greater Mankato Growth Inc. in Minnesota, Jonathan Ziert. We have the Director of Administrative Services to the City of Quincy in Illinois, Skip Bright. Is one of the two senators, the U.S. Senate in Mississippi, a Republican, Terry Burton. His term ended, and it was also due to a third DUI charge. And it's the same deal here for his position as president pro tempore. We have a judge from the Fifth Circuit Court in Alabama, Tom F. Young Jr., retired. We have the Senate Sergeant at Arms to the South Carolina Senate in the U.S., James Melton, retired. We have these two board members to Liberty Health Sciences, Inc. in Canada. We have a president to Seattle City Council in Washington, Bruce Harrell. His term ended. We have the CEO to Health Research Council in New Zealand, Catherine McPherson. We have the CEO to BitThumb in South Korea, Byung Ho, replaced by Jaewon Choi. We have a board member to Nissan Motor Company in Japan, Toshiyuki Shiga. His term ended. We have the CEO and we have the chairman to United Rentals in the U.S. The CEO, Michael Nealon, was replaced by Matthew Flannery, and he moved over to a chairman position, still with United Rentals. So that means he replaced the chairman, Janine Brittle. We have the chairman, the vice chairman, and the secretary, 3 different people, to Birmingham Civil Rights Institute in Alabama. They all resigned after the Institute informed activist scholar Angela Davis that their decision to grant her the Fred L. Shuttlesworth Award for Human Rights had been rescinded. We have the CEO and president to Greater Worcester Community Foundation in Massachusetts, Ann T. Lisi, retired. We have the CEO and president to Duck River Electric Membership Corporation in Tennessee, Michael Watson, retired. We have the chairman to Technip FMC in the UK, Thierry Palinko, retired. We have the CEO to Forest Health in Mississippi, Evan Dillard, retired. We have the chief development officer to Grote Company Inc. in the US, Tom Mathias, retired. We have the CEO to Ecumen in the US, Catherine Roberts. She resigned and was replaced by Skelly Kendrick. We have the VP to Beaumont Health in Michigan, Paul Lacasse, retired. We have the CEO to Green Relief Inc. in Canada, Warren Bravo. We have the Vice Chairman and we have the General Counsel to South Florida Water Management District in the US. Pause if you need to read those names. We have the CEO and Dean to Kansas State University's Olathe campus in the US, Ralph C. Richardson, retired. We have the President to Treasury Board in Canada, Scott Bryson. We have the CEO, the Chief Risk Officer, and the Chief Human Resources Officer, all three different people, to Alexander Forbes Investments in South Africa. Pause if you need to read the names. We have the CEO and Chairman to Denance Technology, BHD in Malaysia. Both resigned amid an ongoing probe. We have the CEO and we have the Chairman, two different people, to Debenhams in the UK. The Chairman was fired after Mike Ashley's Sports Direct and Dubai debased Landmark Group, which collectively hold about 30% of Debenhams shares, voted against his re-election to the board. We have the CEO to Urban League of Greater Southwestern Ohio in the U.S., Donna Jones Baker, retired. We have the CEO to Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City in the U.S., Danette Wilson, retired. We have the CFO to Cummins Inc. in the U.S., Pat Ward, retired. The CFO to YTL Power Syria Pte. Limited in Singapore, Chan Sui Huat, retired. We have the CFO and VP to Target Corporation in the U.S., Kathy Smith, retired. We have the Portfolio Manager to Pacific Investment Management Company, LLC, in the U.S., Jeremy Bennett, retired. We have the CEO to Screen Ireland, James Hickey. We have the CEO to Medigis LT Limited in Israel, Chris Rowland. We have a board member to University of Tennessee Martin Advisory Board in the U.S., Kyle Spurgeon. We have the CEO and president to Easter Seals Hawaii in the U.S., Ron Brandvold, retired. We have the CEO and director to Abrazar Inc. in the U.S., Gloria Reyes, retired. We have the CEO to Post Media Network Canada Group in Canada, Paul Godfrey. He resigned and was replaced by Andrew McLeod, but he remains chairman to Post Media Network. We have the CEO and CFO to Cedro Partners LLC in the UK, Mark Morris. We have the CEO and vice chairman to InvestNet in the US, Anil Arora. She resigned and was replaced by Bill Krager. The company's restructuring, so Anil remains on the company's board. We have the CEO to National Commission for the Certification of Crane Operators in the US, Graham Brent. We have the CEO to Save the Children International in the UK, Hel Thorning Schmidt. We have these 5 directors to CNQC International Holdings Limited in China. We have a director to Central Bureau of Investigation in India, Alok Verma. He was fired, charges of corruption and dereliction of his duty. We have the CEO and we have the VP, 2 different positions, to Aferia Inc. in Canada. Pause if you need to read those. We have the CEO and chairman to Accenture PLC in Ireland, Pierre Nantirm, resigned due to health reasons. We have the CEO and president to Faro Technologies in the U.S., Simon Rabb, retired. We have the CEO and president to Salina Area Chamber of Commerce in Kansas, Don Weiser, retired. We have these 2 co-CEOs to Prisma Health in the U.S. We have the CEO, the financial controller, and general counsel to SKS 365 Group in Austria. Pause if you need to read those names. We have a director to Georgia O'Keeffe Museum in New Mexico, Robert Kret. We have a director to Prison Department of Lithuania, Robertas K. We have the chairman to National Stock Exchange of India in India, Ashok Chawla, resigned after the CBI, also known as the Central Bureau of Investigation, got the finance ministry's nod to prosecute him in the Aircel Maxis bribery scandal. We have the supervisor to Maricopa County in Arizona, Denny Barney. He resigned and went off to be CEO and president at East Valley Partnership. We have the chief performance officer to Nissan Motor Company in Japan, Jose Munoz. Resigned amid broadening investigation of ex-chairman Goshen. We have the CFO to Lamar Advertising Company in the U.S., Keith Istry, retired. We have the CEO and director of the U.S. Tennis Association in the U.S., Gordon Smith, retired. We have the CEO to Cooper University Healthcare in New Jersey, Adrian Kirby, retired. We have the VP to AEG Presents in the U.S., Larry Vallon, retired. We have the COO to Cooper Standard Automotive Inc. in the U.S., Keith Stevenson, retired. We have the undersheriff and the colonel to Broward County Sheriff's Office in Florida. They quit in part of protest to the decision by DeSantis to remove Scott Israel from office. And it's the same deal with Major Colonel Kevin Schultz here, left for the same reasons. And also these two colonels here. They all left because they didn't agree with the DeSantis decision to remove Scott Israel. We have the CEO and VP of the National Potato Council in the U.S., John Keeling, retired. We have the Defense Minister to Greek government, Greece, Panos Kamenos, resigned over the Macedonia name deal, which he opposes. We have the CEO to Pacific Gas and Electric Company, also known as PG&E in the U.S., Geisha Williams. We have the Chief to National Anti-Corruption Directorate in Romania, Anka Germa. She resigned due to what she describes as, quote, a hostile environment. We have the CEO to Stellar Partners, Inc. in the U.S., Susan Stackhouse. She retired and is replaced by Padraig Drennan. We have the chairman to Jab Holding Company, SARL in Luxembourg, Bart Beck, retired and is replaced by Bob Gamgort. We have the chairman and we have the interim CEO to Jigsaw Clothing in the UK. The chairman, Charles Adderton, is retired, and the interim CEO, Chris Stevenson, will move on to a non-executive position in the company, within the company. We have the CFO and VP to A.O. Smith Corp. In the U.S., John Kita, retired and was replaced by Charles Labor. We have the CFO to MS Amlin in the U.K., John Worth. He resigned and went off to work for Hastings Group. We have the CEO to Jabong in India, Ananth Narayanan. Jabong was bought by Flipkart. We have the CEO to Berry Brothers and Rudd in the UK, Dan Jago. We have these two co-CEOs, Spencer Berwin and Philip Thomas, to JC Deco UK in UK. Both will move on to new positions as non-executive directors in the company. We have the CEO to St. Croix Rod in the U.S., Paul Schluter. We have the CEO and president to the National Equity Fund, Inc. in the U.S., Joseph S. Hagen. We have the chairman to Julius Baer in Switzerland, Danielle Sauter. He resigned and is replaced by Romeo Lacher. Romeo Lacher will keep his 6 jobs, which he has held for the past 2 years, his 6 other jobs. We have the chancellor to the University of North Carolina in the U.S., Carol L. Folt. We have the CEO and president to Grand Itasca Clinic and Hospital in Minnesota, Michael Yuso. We have a representative to the Judicial and Agricultural Committees in the U.S., a Republican, Steve King, fired. We have the minister to Whip's office in the U.K., Gareth Johnson. We have the CEO to Spicer's Office Team Group in the U.K., Jeff Whiteway. And we have these 2 board members to South Florida Water Management District in the U.S., Dan O'Keefe and Carlos Diaz. That's it for this week. Don't forget, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's a new week until we catch up. And in real life news, go ahead, link up with them so that way you catch the next Resignation show on April 28th. And as always, if you like my content, please share, because sharing is caring. If you haven't already yet, go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, so that way YouTube has no choice of what kind of content of mine you get to see. I hope you enjoyed it. I love you all. God bless you all. This is Red Pill McKenzie.